you get the memo I sent you this morning?
I did. Yes.
All right. Let's begin. State your name and age,
I'm Corey Smith, I'm 24.
and your specialization.
Is it a trial? We're just getting to know you now.
Poetry and personal narrative.
Clarify.
Real people stories, personal experiences with history, and...
Hold, I want to clarify something. He's 24. How is he a Mnemone?
We originally thought that what makes an Mnemone successful is an innate talent for memory. But the Mnemones after the war perfected a system of training for that apparently innate skill. We found that retention can be learned and quickly.
But how have you had time to get all this material into your head?
They start young.
Let's stay on track. Mnemone, please describe your upbringing and training. Be succinct.
My mother taught me, and occasionally friends of hers we visited while on the run.
Did you ever attend school?
Of course not.
I have in my briefing that your mother was arrested and removed when you were 8. Is that true?
Yes, before erasure she was killed.
Were you present at the event?
Please describe your education following the event, especially memorization.
I found books and memorized them.
Clarify.
I listened to people's stories, scavenged books where I could. I tried to retain what I read, use the skills I'd been taught, make music in my head, associate them with the stories, make other music.
What was your most productive source of outlawed books? Was it an individual, some sort of supplier, a particular location known only to certain elitist members and other Mnemones, a hidden library?
I mostly found them in the trash.
All right. Demonstrate for us a memory.
A memory.
A sample of your specialization, ideally antiquated. We don't need to catalog them all. The chief has already interviewed you to get a rough breakdown.
It's always interesting to see what they choose.
But the test, it's a formality. It's really not necessary.
It's usually the last memory we hear.
Before erasure.
We should keep record of all that, the last memories. Didn't one of them sing a children's song?
Quite a few of them sang.
A lot of poetry, too.
That's right, that do not go gentle business.
And I preferred the one with, let us go then, you and I.
I'm so bored of myself. It's 50th time.
All right, do any of the present parties have a request for the Mnemone? Anyone? Any poem or...
Something we haven't heard before.
How would this Mnemone know that?
The art of losing isn't hard to master. So many things seem filled with the intent to be lost. The loss is no disaster. Lose something every day except the fluster of lost door keys, the hour badly spent. The art of losing isn't hard to master. Then practice losing farther, losing faster. Places and names and where it was you meant to travel, none of these will bring disaster. I lost my mother's watch, and look, my last or next to last of 3 loved houses went. The art of losing isn't hard to master. I lost 2 cities, lovely ones, and vaster. Some realms I own, 2 rivers, a continent, I miss them, but it wasn't a disaster, even losing you. A joking voice, a gesture I love, I shan't have lied. It's evident the art of losing isn't hard to master, though it may look like right it, like disaster.
I think we should execute this Mnemone.
No, that's not up for consideration.
The public is aware of our shift in sentencing over the last decade.
There's something to be said for the strong image of the very last Mnemone being completely eradicated publicly with an execution. I think it has a neat shape to it,
But that goes against current policy. The past 10 years were the policy.
which you spearheaded as a weakening of official stance on memory policing.
And it led to nearly unanimous support of streamlining, 10% more arrests each year, and public approval.
We don't depend on public approval.
You're justifying this sentence as a booster to public approval.
To reiterate our convictions on the Mnemone problem, not to boost public approval. There's a difference. And this is a special case. He's the very last one. It's a very strong image.
If I'm the last one.
After 5 years of searching, you are.
Moving on, I'd like to propose an alternate trajectory for the current case. And Corey Smith, as far as we know, is the last living Mnemone. And President would have us either erase him or execute him. But I recommend commuting the sentence to life. He knows things that all of us have forgotten. We have no good archives, no textbooks other than the streamlined versions. And there are literary precedents which include the retention of a policy advisor with knowledge exceeding...
Literary precedents?
I've included budgetary comparisons in your briefings. We could consolidate the archives. This project could save the police $1 million annually in manpower and salary. And Nagori, of course, isn't salaried. He's just room and board and minimal security.
What if he lies?
Ask him to cite a source every time he gives advice. It'll take a lot less time to fact check than it would to search for information from scratch.
Mnemone, why would you ever give us information to help us continue to govern? Wouldn't you rather see us fail, make a false step, and then follow the revolutionaries? The ones you imagine in your dreams.
I don't dream like that.
What?
I don't dream about anything that isn't real or already in my head.
This is an opportunity that won't come around again. He is the last one. We've spent months verifying that for good. We won't find another one.
You're recommending...
That we try this system of consultation with an enemy when needed. If we want to consider a policy change, or how to avoid a recession or the current instability, he can be consulted, where he can be asked about similar situations and recall them. He's the perfect librarian. A librarian.
Said, when I'm releasing the records program, do you realize how much he could burn the entire place down?
Do you really think that he could bring himself to destroy even one historical document?
His motivations could be political more than literary, and besides, even if he wouldn't destroy the documents, he'd be in contact with records that even he doesn't already have memorized. We would be directly offering new material to Mnemone.
You know exactly where those documents would be. In his head, and in the secure records building. And he's in a cell.
I'd like to go back to Secretary Chase's question. Mnemone, why would you knowingly provide us with historical precedents that would help us stay in power?
I've already discussed this possibility
I was
with
speaking
enemy.
to the Mnemone.
I wouldn't.
Well, there you are. That's the problem with your human library proposal, Oberon. He has a quality that filing cabinets lack. He's stubborn.
There is, however, a condition under which I would advise you.
We don't negotiate.
Think about how unstable your administration is right now. How many little uprisings did actual damage to your reputation and your police force because you made the wrong move in trying to silence them. Think about how little you understand the kinds of books and stories that have a surprising impact on people's imaginations, the folk tales from a century ago and how they've taken shape today and how to recognize them. There is a lot of public protests going on out there, a lot of art that you don't understand or know how to control. There's a lot of value that you could place on me. Now I have a request. Bring me to the public. Outside of this room and the town where you arrested me, nobody knows I'm here. Announce it. Make it very clear what you have. Hold public visiting hours, office hours, whatever the hell you want to call them. Do it every day and make them free. Don't interrupt them for any of your policy meetings. Don't overlap them. Let people come and see me. And don't touch anybody who does. Give them immunity. No retribution, no repercussions, not even a name on a list for coming to see me. They get to ask me whatever they want. I get to talk to them. I get to share my memories with them. That's my condition for sharing them with you. The rest of the city gets access.
Chief Oberon,
Yes, I hadn't discussed this previously, this suggestion.
what are your thoughts?
I think it's a fair trade.
We don't negotiate.
This isn't a negotiation so much as a settlement.
Technicality.
It's not a negotiation because if you don't allow it, I'll never share anything about history with you. You can kill me, you can erase me, I'll never give you any of my memories. Being dead and being in a cell, it's the same thing to me.
Why not torture him?
No, we don't do that.
Rather than negotiate with an enemy, why not maintain control of the situation? You can't promise us he wouldn't speak under stress, everyone does.
The kind of effort you would need to regularly extract records from him if you use those methods, you'd burn him out in a week. That's assuming you'd get anything out of him that was understandable or usable.
We could spare a week to test it.
We don't have that luxury. He's the last Mnemone. Don't throw it away by cracking him up.
Try and see how much you
Mnemone,
get.
you're to keep your place at all times at these meetings. Chief Oberon, keep your people in mind.
Sir, I think it would be to the administration's advantage to publicize this Mnemone's existence. Give people a taste of what a Mnemone
Why is that desirable?
It shows that the administration is interested in informing the public of what an outlaw looks like. We want people to understand the meaning of being an enemy.
And why they're obsolete. Why they're frivolity embodied. Yes, I think I agree. It could be a strong PR move for us. Shows that we're willing to allow the other side to speak.
But we're not willing to do that.
When it lets us illustrate how fallacious the other side's claims are, showing why it's so pointless and even wasteful to keep anemones around.
Well, we keep anemone around precisely to make ourselves less wasteful.
We don't have to publicize that.
We don't allow the anemone to discuss it either.
Of course not. We draft a list of off-limits topics.
No limits.
Like the administration itself, no discussion of policy or governance from the past 50 years.
In
No.
any part of history.
No.
Absolutely no incitement to rebellion. That's a large enough umbrella to cover comparisons to previous governments and past laws.
And we brand his visitation as a novelty, like our museum with the print newspapers and the public radio equipment and sculptures.
See the man with the obsolete career. Be impressed by feats of memory and remember why you don't bother yourself.
Combine the exhibit with an exhibit on the history of streamlining and erasure. Reminders of elitist culture and the betterment of the country through reductions, streamlining, and public education.
A timeline of major breakthroughs in streamlining and highlights of major culture-related protests, violence, statistics.
Educational. And in the meantime, Mnemone, you advise us on the context of our political strategies.
An hour a day with the public for free.
Half an hour.
All right, Chief Oberon, start making the schedule, and Secretary Chase, you should get some visitors.
Not by invitation. I'm not just going to perform for your donors. For the public.
This meeting's adjourned.